Good evening. I am calling our January 13th Town Council meeting to order. If you will please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. All right, we will start with our manager's comments. Actually, before you get started, I just wanted to say a quick Happy New Year to everyone. We officially closed on our new town hall in December, and we are in a countdown to moving into that building. We still have a few months for that to happen as they complete some minor renovations. I think the Southern Pines Business Association did a wonderful job with the pine cone drop for New Year's. Hopefully you all had a chance to be downtown. We'd had a nice warm Christmas and not too cool of a New Year's. This weekend is Martin Luther King weekend, and just as a reminder, the West Southern Pines Civic Club, which I think we'll probably have a public comment on with more details, has their breakfast on January 17th. There is a service at the Land and Housing Trust Auditorium at 3:30 on Sunday, and then the march, everyone is lining up downtown at the Downtown Park at 10 a.m. on Monday. All right, Reagan, on to you.
Thank you, Mayor Clement, members of council, public. Short agenda this evening. You've got 3 items on your consent agenda, one being finalization of the right-of-way reduction on East New York Avenue. My understanding is this is an item the council spoke about back, I believe, in September with your town attorney and town engineer. This just finalizes that. The plat has been received. Everything appears to be in order, and it's simply awaiting BJ and I's signature to finalize that little reduction. You have 2 reappointments to the Historic District Commission before you this evening. Dr. Robert Brown and Mr. Lane West are both interested in being reappointed for a second term. Both have been regularly attending members of that body, and staff would ask your consideration in continuing their service on the Historic District Commission. And then finally, the adoption of minutes from your December 9th meeting, which was your only meeting in December. Beyond that, you'll have an annexation petition to hold a legislative public hearing on, and then we'll move into a QJ evidentiary hearing on the Trimble Plant Road preliminary development plan. This is for development of the site that you may all recall back on December 9th that you approved a conceptual development plan for through a legislative hearing. This will simply be the QJ on the more detailed plan to move forward with a project on that site. With that, I'll certainly take any questions and turn it back over to you, Mayor.
I have one quick question. If we have people who have applied to be on the historic district, would we be notified of that as we appoint people to do a second term?
If you receive applications for any of the boards or commissions, the town clerk does forward that to the town council. Are those still going in their drop boxes also?
Okay.
Okay, but
Okay, yeah,
you
not to cast
should be
stones,
in
I just
receipt of
want-
anything for the
Okay.
Historic District Commission
Thanks.
that we're aware of at this time.
Okay, great. Just wondered. Okay, thank you.
I have a minor question on the right-of-way reduction for East New York Avenue. Does it make sense to pull it out of the consent agenda to ask that question? I should have just called BJ before the meeting. But. Okay, good. Good, well, we'll just make it a longer meeting. We'll pull it out. I mean, or I can ask
It's a
it.
simple, quick question. Go ahead and we'll.
Okay, can I ask it? So it looks like we're abandoning both sides of the right-of-way on both sides of New York Avenue. Is there a reason that we're both doing if you are headed towards the dead end, the right side? Why would we abandon both sides?
There was no reason not to. We're never going to widen that road. It's a dead end. So
All
we're,
right,
An effort to try to keep the pavement out there centered as opposed to taking it all off of one side.
okay, well then that's perfect, thank you. All right, if there are no other questions, I just need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving to public comments, we have a sign-up sheet, I think at the end, and anyone who has not signed up, I'll just provide time afterwards if there's additional public comment. All right, we have Miss, is it Bentley? Okay. If you'll just come up and introduce yourself and provide your address, and then you have 3 minutes to speak. And the microphone is movable, and just make sure that the red light is on.
Good? Okay.
Hi.
Is that good?
You can pull it down towards you.
Good. Hello. My name is Patricia Bentley. My husband and I moved to Southern Pines 3 years ago. When asked to describe where I live to friends and family, I really describe it as it's a little bit of heaven. And when my daughter and friend visit, they understand why, and they couldn't agree more. And with that being said, my daughter started to look into relocating here in about a year or so. However, they became extremely discouraged because, like many of the kids in their age group, in their bracket, they're actually renting. And they prefer, when they relocate, is to be able to own a home and to invest in one. Now, it was with my understanding that the 2023 Comprehensive Housing Plan, which would address this issue, which took at least a year or so to complete, members on this housing plan consisted of your staff, consulting firm, a citizens advisory committee, and extensive public engagement. Updates were presented at town meetings throughout last year. 2 members actively campaigned in favor of this plan and voted no. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why you voted no. When you actively participated and campaigned that you were going to, and you agreed with the plan. There was plenty of time to review the process in the final version, to address any late-minute concerns, but that wasn't done. That wasn't done. And sadly, but greatly, it still passed. And I'm grateful to those who adhered and listened to the constituents in Southern Pines. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bentley. And we have Ms. Pratt.
Good evening. I'm Beth Ann Pratt from Southern Pines. First time here, but I've watched you guys online. So members of the Southern Pines Town Council, I want to begin by thanking the 3 council members who voted in favor of the middle housing ordinance last month. Your vote showed a willingness to consider thoughtful solutions for the people who serve this community every day. I think most of us agree that we do not want large apartment developments. Middle housing is different. The American dream is home ownership, and Southern Pines is a beautiful place to live. We need to ensure home ownership remains attainable for young families and our workforce professionals. Exploring additional pathways to homeownership is essential for the future of our town. I appreciate that this ordinance included strong protections for the community character, clear requirements, and the ability to reverse course if needed. Just as important, architectural design must remain consistent with the established character of our neighborhoods, as preserving that character matters more than anything else. This workforce housing ordinance was well studied, approved by the planning board, and thoughtfully designed for firefighters, EMTs, teachers, and other working professionals. It is a practical response to a real need. It was noted that 2 council members voted against the middle housing. One appeared to have inconsistent decision-making, supporting a similar housing project in West Southern Pines while opposing an East Southern Pines without clear principal distinctions. The other council member justified a no vote despite extensive prior discussion and data review, which gives the impression of not fully owning a decision. Greater clarity around these votes would help to build public trust. I respect that every elected official votes their conscience and their values. However, when the town has worked on an initiative for over a year, constituents deserve transparency and clear communication behind those votes. And before closing, I would like to address another issue, and that's about the Knollwood Heights community and the plan for tree removal. For nearly a year, it has passed since hundreds of trees are marked in yellow spray paint, white tags, and now we have pink sticks in our yard, or sticks that have pink flags. Yet the residents have not received updates or the promised follow-up meeting. Residents are asking for clear communication, updated timelines, and a chance to meet with the town to discuss alternatives and ideas that could allow the needing sewer repairs while preserving as many trees as possible. While we all want sewer systems that work, many of these trees have been around for 50 years, and it seems reasonable to seek solutions that are careful and deliberate while using a more precise approach rather than one that feels unnecessarily heavy-handed. I respectfully ask that the town meets with concerned residents to discuss options and provide updates moving forward.
Just
Thank you
finish your
for your
sentence.
time and service.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that is the end of my list. Is there anyone else who would like to provide public comment? Okay. All right, moving on. We will go to our consent agenda. Are there other questions or a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second? All right. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I mean, the hesitation made me think I skipped something. All right. No, we approved just the agenda, not the consent, yeah. Okay, moving on to our public hearings. Our only legislative hearing this evening is the Humane Society petition for annexation. Do we have a staff member with information?
Good evening, members of council. I'm going to go the other direction there.
Good evening, Director Grieve.
BJ Grieve, Southern Pines Planning Department, just here to brief you very quickly regarding the annexation in front of you. The Moore County Humane Society owns the parcel circled in red on the screen. It is not currently within municipal limits. You will recall that in 2024, that organization came before you with an architectural compliance permit to build a new facility. They have then gone through site plan review, and they are now, can you pull up that photograph right there for me? The site is now, they've already done grading, the site is under construction, and of course, in order to connect to municipal water, they need to annex the subject parcel. And so this is an annexation. You'll notice in your packet that the petitioners are asking to annex 12.472 acres. Their parcel does technically go to the center line of Aviation Drive on the east side of the parcel. There's a map in the packet reflecting all that. And then in addition to that, under North Carolina General Statute, when the town is annexing property that has a NCDOT right-of-way or any other type of utility between the property and the nearest contiguous municipal limits, the state statute also allows the annexation of that NCDOT right-of-way. So a portion of the NC-22 and Wayner Road rights-of-way are being included, and you'll notice in the packet that there's a map that staff created to show the two different things that are being annexed. And then as well, you'll notice that the motion that was drafted on page 3 of the report, page 14 of 52 of the packet, you'll notice that the motion is just sort of very clear about the fact that you're annexing both the petitioner's request, which is the 12.472 acres, as well as the additional acreage included in the NC-22 and Wayner Road rights-of-way. But finally, we are not annexing the Aviation Drive right-of-way because that's the boundary between the Whispering Pines and Southern Pines annexation agreement. So we're just going to take the property but not the right-of-way in there in terms of annexation and kind of leave that as a no man's land in terms of annexation.
Are there any issues with it being a no man's land?
Not that I can foresee. We had a fair bit of troubleshooting about the issue of the property going to the center line and annexing all of it versus leaving the sliver out to only go to the west side of the right-of-way. Ultimately, best decision is going to be to take the entirety of the property because they petitioned for 12.472 acres. Then in terms of leaving that, no, because if Whispering Pines ever annexes on the east side, it'll go to the right-of-way. We've annexed essentially to the right-of-way, but the entirety of the parcel. So it should be nice and tidy. There's no real reason to have that particular I think that's formerly the NC-22 road, now Aviation Parkway. There's no real reason. I did run it by James Mickle, the town engineer, just to see, are there any consequences here that maybe I'm not thinking of from a utility easement perspective, anything like that? He could not foresee any challenges with that, so that's why we decided to leave it where it is.
Really, the one outlying issue would be police jurisdictional types of things. I'm not sure if Aviation Drive, I think that got turned over to the airport when 22 was realigned, but I don't know that for a fact. But regardless, it would remain, obviously, sheriff's jurisdiction, and if it's DOT, State Highway Patrol, but I'm not sure that DOT still maintains Aviation Drive after the realignment.
Okay. All right, are there other questions for staff? All right, seeing none, is there a motion?
It's a public hearing, so.
Oh, I'm
yep,
sorry.
yep. Just give the opportunity, yeah.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this annexation? Okay. Thank you, Director Grieve. Is there a motion?
You close the public hearing.
I'm closing the public hearing. See, I've been on break for a month and a half, or almost a month. Thank you.
Now I'm ready.
All right, now that it's closed,
Now I have a
would
motion.
you like to make a motion?
I will. I'll move to adopt the ordinance approving voluntary annexation request AX-03-25 for the property as defined in the submitted legal description, along with adjoining NC 22 and Wayner Road rights-of-way as described in the legal description prepared by town staff, and to have the ordinance effective immediately.
Second.
By saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving on to our evidentiary hearing. We have Trimble Plant Road Preliminary Development Plan. This was discussed, I believe, just last month, and is moving on to the second phase of application. Miss, would you
Mayor.
like to qualify us? Yes.
Yes. Does any member of council have a fixed opinion prior to this hearing that is not susceptible to change?
No.
Has any member of council had ex parte communications about this matter?
No.
Does any member of council have a close familial, business, or other associational relationship with an affected person?
No.
Does any member of council have a financial interest in the outcome of this matter?
No.
Is the applicant here? Do you wish to challenge any member of council on the basis of bias? Mayor, it's yours.
Thank you. All right, if everyone who would like to participate in the hearing would please stand and raise your right hand. Oh, do you want me to say it or you? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this hearing this evening? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Maddox, good evening.
Good evening, Mason Maddox, Planner 2 with the town. Madam Clerk, I submit staff's report into the record as Exhibit A and staff's presentation into the record as Exhibit B. Thank you. All right, this is an application for a planned development district at Trimble Plant Road. Property owner is JBO Holdings, and the authorized agent is Coons Jones Design plus V3. Bob Coons here tonight. Council will recall, as Mayor Clement mentioned, the conceptual development plan for this site being approved just last month. So very good observation. All right, the property is approximately 21.69 acres, located east of US 1, west of Trimble Plant Road, south of Airtool Drive, and just north of Yadkin Road. You can see Brad Halling, aka American Whiskey Co. BHawk, on the south side of your screen right there. The site is an existing commercial and industrial campus. You'll see some of the businesses occupying the space on the screen as well. Surrounding uses are industrial, warehouse, and light commercial, adjacent to the Southern Pines Corporate Park. The zoning is now planned development. There's an urban transition highway corridor overlay and a high-quality watershed overlay as well. Just a quick reminder that the conceptual development plan is the legislative step that establishes the zoning. I put a little "you are here" thing, final step before the council. The preliminary development plan before you tonight evaluates compliance with what was approved last month. And so the main question for council this evening is whether the PDP applies with the approved CDP or not. Existing conditions shown here. I'll call your attention to the existing 4,240 square foot building in the red circle right there, which is proposed for demolition as a part of this plan and replacement with a 40,000 square foot industrial shallow bay flex space. Slide 7 shows the CDP as approved last month. And here is the PDP before you. Little visit to the eye doctor, 1 or 2. The CDP permits industrial, warehouse, office, clinic, and self-storage and heavy consumer goods, name a few. A maximum building height of 50 feet instead of what would have otherwise been 35. Architectural deviations for building materials for the existing larger building, a parking capacity of 192 spaces, 20% open space with a requirement that usable open space be waived, and a 75-foot undisturbed buffer along US 1. I'll note that this was adjusted per council's approval last month. And back to option 2. you'll see the 75-foot buffer has been retained. The PDP requests development in 2 phases, A and B. Phase A is going to be uplifting the existing larger building, and Phase B would be demolition of the smaller building that I showed you here to build that shallow bay flex space right here. The 50-foot building height remains consistent with the CDP, and the PDP also requests 182 parking spaces, which is 10 fewer than that 192 number I gave you a minute ago. PDP does provide open space, including the deviation from usable open space. The stormwater management area within the existing depression already in the buffer, there was a condition that came out of the CDP that I'll recall your attention to, which permitted that. And if you look at the very north part of your screen, you will see that stormwater pond back to the eye doctor, 1 and 2, same location, same place, same scale. Just a couple aerial photos provided by staff, just for your orientation, very, very quickly. This is looking, of course, from US 1. All right, the applicant did provide this architectural rendering of the existing building's upfitting. Due to the square footage, I will note that the architectural review permit will need to come back by the council for that upfitting. Made a quick little comparison of everything that I just covered, the PDP weighed against the CDP's requirements. Staff find that the PDP fully aligns with the CDP, with no new uses or deviations being proposed. The site is fully served by existing utilities, so no inefficient extensions of public infrastructure being proposed. Traffic and agency reviews also raise no issues. And finally, the planning board did unanimously vote to convey the following list of issues, none. And for those reasons, staff recommends approval of the preliminary development plan for Trimble Plant Road as presented.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you all have questions for staff? All right. Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to thank our staff. I've been doing this probably longer than anybody here, and it gets a little bit confusing when we have preliminary development plan, conceptual development plan. Anyway, I appreciate it. It makes this so much easier when you reiterate sort of how they work together. And we did the hard lifting, I think, the last meeting for the conceptual development plan, but I appreciate you reminding us that, like, hey, we need to get into the weeds. That was the time to do it, and it just makes it a lot easier. So thank you for continuing to teach us and inform us about the process. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Are there other questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Maddox.
All right. Seeing none, we'll have the applicant come present.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Bob Kuntz with Kuntz Jones Design, 140 Applecross Road in Pinehurst. Here this evening, Mason did a great job, and I'm just here to represent the client. And if there are any questions of us, I'm happy to answer those.
Council, do you have questions? Okay. Ms. Peterson.
So JBO Holdings LLC, when I look it up, it says that the legal entity identifier has lapsed.
I just want to
Can you address that?
I'm not sure, Mac, can we ask questions about who the legal holder of the property is? Is that relevant?
If they've presented in the application that they are JBO Holdings LLC, and when I look them up, it says that the legal entity identifier has lapsed and indicates it is not actively managed at this time, that raises a concern for me.
Yes, you can ask.
Can you address that, please?
I don't know. I'm not sure if Jim has updated his report for the year or what it is, but I know, I'm not sure why that would be. Sometimes the state websites lag. I don't know if he has updated it or not.
Ms. Peterson, was this on Google? Did you find it on Google? I'm sorry.
Yes.
On Google, okay. Not necessarily always, but
So my question is, an entity that doesn't exist is applying.
Well, I think it sounds like it exists.
PJ?
We just pulled up the Secretary of State's website and looked up the entity, and it does say currently active. It says limited liability corporation, domestic And thank you, more information. We do see Holly S. Drake is the registered agent, and other members include James B. O'Malley.
And does it show the configuration as the consolidation of two prior LLCs?
Ms. Peterson, can I ask the relevance of your question to this application? Ms. Peterson,
I'm waiting for an answer.
Oh,
what's the relevance of your question?
Can you answer my
Councilwoman
question
Peterson,
now?
if you cannot provide the relevance of your question, then I'm not going to allow staff time to answer it. Why is your question relevant?
Because I'm interested in whether or not it's a valid entity that is filed for this project.
On the basis of if the entity exists and it's listed on the Secretary of State's website, I'm not sure that that question is necessary to know if it was consolidated two businesses. It sounds like this is questioning for dilatory purposes only. Are there other questions for the applicant?
Do you have any insight to share?
I'm not
as
sure
far
why
as
it
the
matters.
Secretary of State's, your insights having reviewed that?
If you would like to go back and research the organization to make sure that it is, whatever the history is, you can figure that out after the meeting.
Right.
It
that's
is not
actually what I'm-
relevant.
That's actually what I'm trying to do before I vote on whether
But
or not.
it sounds like you've already presented misinformation about this organization, which is not good for the applicant. I think that you are actually working against someone with misinformation. You're spreading it to this council.
I'll just offer this. As part of our completeness review, when we
Right.
receive an application, we look at the applicant and we do check with the Secretary of State's website because frequently the applicant is some sort of LLC. So we do verify the validity of that. In this
Okay.
case, we double checked it in case, because sometimes those do lapse.
Right.
And so we double checked it. And so the best available information we can find at the source we go to verify the validity of the applicant, to make sure that they exist, make sure that we have a agent authorization from a legitimate organization. And we do actually check that pretty closely because
Great.
we
That's
want to make
great.
sure, we want to make sure that there's a signature of a human being on the applicant that matches one of the members who's listed. And sometimes doing that is actually hard because you can't read the signature and you say,
Right.
what human signed this? So we do verify all that. In this case, in this meeting tonight, going to the source we go to, we have no reason to believe that it's invalid as of right now
Okay,
tonight.
thank you. And that is something that is typically checked by the planning department during the application process?
Yes, ma'am, we verify. Bob can actually tell you, we've had some real back and forth over the years about agent authorization signatures. Bob Kuntz can tell you that.
It just sounded, I'm old, it sounded like you said, and it is invalid, meaning
excuse me.
invalid. It's good. So I was like,
It is
wait, did I-
valid, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We've actually had some projects over the years where, due simply to the fact that there was what appeared to be a human being's signature on the application under agent authorization, but when we went to the Secretary of State's, we couldn't figure out what human being that was. We kicked them back out and said, we need to verify that whoever signature this is a person on this list, and they've had to go back, and it has cost them a month to go back to the applicant and get that all squared away. So that is a standard thing that we do, and we make sure we
Thanks.
verify that.
That's great, thank you.
So-
You've answered my question, I appreciate you.
Are there other questions about if this conceptual development plan does not match the plan development plan? Plan development plan? Proposed, no. Preliminary. No, that's not it either. Conceptual. I had the wrong letter. If the plan development adheres to the conceptual development plan that we approved last month. I know. Are there, okay, well, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing. As such, as an evidentiary hearing, any public comment regarding property value or traffic will need to come from an expert, but we are welcoming any public comment on the project. All right, seeing none. I'm going to close the public hearing and open the floor for discussion or a motion.
Seeing no discussion, I'll make a motion first to adopt attachment 1 of the staff report as drafted for our findings of fact for PD 0625.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Therefore, I'll make a second motion that we approve the preliminary development plan for PD 06-25.
A second.
All those say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. I'm not sure that I heard all the votes, but the motion carries as unanimous. All right, thank you. All right, unless there's anything else for the good of the public, that's the end of our meeting. Would you like to say something?
I just wanted to say for Reagan, I don't know if, I think Mike's involved. I appreciate some of the public comments. I've heard multiple, as we all have, about the Knollwood issue. So just what was stated is, we've all been hearing multiple times about it. So just reiterate what was said, and hopefully we can figure some stuff out there. Thank you.
Thank you to the public who is here for the meeting. Yes, of course.
And I think this more is on us. And it was a comment that was made earlier today, and a very fair one. I think we need to do a better job and I've talked with some of the planning guys on defining our terms when we use terms like missing middle, because the perception is you're voting for an affordable home vice, a style of home. And so, and we've talked about this. When we use terms like the middle, that's not middle class. That's a style of home in this context. So when we vote a certain way, and if there's any way that I can help ensuring that because it took me a while to understand the verbiage and the definitions of what a missing middle was, and we talked about the hundreds of acronyms that we use here on the council, the CDP, all this other stuff. So if there's a way that I can help, because I don't want people to go out there thinking that we're, as a council, not voting for middle-class housing, because I think that's what we're all voting for. But missing middle talks to a style of home. And that's really important that our constituents all across the town understand what it is that we're talking about, because they're completely different definitions. And so I need to do a better job in explaining, and I do apologize if, last month, as the rookie, I came on board and I didn't articulate my votes as clear as I should. And I'll get better for you, ma'am, and the rest of the town council and our constituents. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Other comments? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just as a reminder to the council, you do meet in work session next week, not in 2 weeks. Audit report next week, so. At the Haney Room.